Hey, Kat Chancellor with Stamp Art Connection. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I just finished demonstrating this card. And now I'm going to do a card on the fly, which basically means I'm going to do a card using some of the products that I used to create this. And I'm just going to come up with a card right in front of you. Let's see how that goes. What I'm going to use is, if you remember in my previous video, I used this. It was simply a piece of white cardstock, and I used that as a pattern to stencil this background. Well, I was sitting here looking at this and saying, my gosh, that's really gorgeous. There's got to be a way I can make a flower out of it. So that's what I'm going to do. So let's get started. Okay, so this is a card on the fly. So I'm starting out with this piece here that I use as a stencil. So I'm kind of thinking, what are my card colors? I'm going to use the same card colors I used for my last card, but I'm going to switch them around. I'm going to use the Pear Pizzazz as my base card at 5.5 and 4 1/4. Then I'm going to layer it with a piece of white at 5 1/4 by 4. Then I'm going to put the sweet sugar plum piece on top of that, because that's where I'm going to put my hydrangea. But I went ahead and I cut out another white piece because I'm going to use this as kind of a shadow background for my hydrangea to give it a little bit of dimension. So when I line it up perfectly, there it is, it's lined up perfectly, I can kind of offset it a little, and it's going to give me a little bit of dimension. See that? So that's kind of what I'm going for. I don't think I'm going to stamp in the middle. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to add bigger pearl seeds, and then I'm going to go ahead and put my my green leaf on it. Now, that's my card on the fly, okay? So I'm kind of thinking out loud as I'm putting this together. But to start off with, what I need, because this is very plain, is I want to give it some kind of visual interest, since I'm going to have this in the middle. So what I'm going to use is take out my scoring tool, and I'm simply going to score at the very smallest line. And what I'm trying to do is build an edge, a frame, by going at the very edge of my paper. And you can see that's all I'm doing. I'm just scoring an edge. See that? How it's kind of coming out? There it is. See that? That's all I'm trying to do to kind of set this piece off. Okay, so there it is. It's done. Put my scoreboard away. This is a trick that you can use if you've just got a plain piece of paper and you want to put plain piece of cardstock. You want to put something on it, but you just kind of want to give it a little bit more visual interest. All right. So having done that, I'm then going to take my leaf that I've cut out. I'm going to show you again how I use the die brush. I'm just going to, there it is. A couple of pieces are still sticky a little bit. There it is. Perfect. Okay. Put my die brush aside. Put my framelits aside. And now I'm going to put my card together. All right. So what I'm going to do is I am going to put this up on dimensionals on this, and this is what I'm going to adhere to the card. That's what I'm thinking. So again, this is a card on the fly. I'm just making this up as I go along. So hang with me. Let's see how this comes out. A lot of my cards I do ahead of time, and then I sit down. I get my thoughts together, and I do my video. So this is kind of different. So again, I'm using my my little edgelets, my little edges on my dimensional sheet that I am clipping into small little squares that I can place around my card, around my my cutout here. I'm finding strategic little areas that fit these shapes, working at the center, but then again also making sure that I have support at the edge for my card. And okay, my computer cord wasn't locked up, so my computer was going dark on me, so I had to hook it, make sure it was hooked up so my computer camera here doesn't go out on me. It's rather late on a Saturday night that I'm filming this, and you can probably tell the lighting isn't as bright as when I'm doing this during the day, but you know how it is when the mood hits you. You just gotta kind of, sit down and make cards, and that's kind of where I'm at right now. Making some of these videos for you. Okay, so I've got my sticky there, and here's my white. I'm going to just offset this just a little bit. There you go. I've just offset it just a little bit, and it's kind of pretty because it's kind of lacy since it is sitting up a little bit. And I'm then going to, since I've offset this and this is kind of raised, I think I'm just going to go ahead and put the leaf down just flat on the paper. So in that case, I'm just going to use my tape and just hit it in my little strategic areas so that I can make it sticky. Okay, so I'll probably need to, again, this is on the fly, so work with me here. Okay, I'm going to put this right about there, and then I'm going to put that so I can use this on the back here. I'm going to put this right about there, and I'm going to slip this under here. See that? Just slip it under there, lay it down. Now, I'm going to cut this right where that my edge is, my frame edge. Okay. If I have any sticky stuff, I can take my this kind of Gumby thing, and I just very carefully just kind of rub it, and it'll pick up that extra glue, and you more or less just kind of you don't rub very much, you just kind of dab, and it kind of picks up that glue. Okay. And I've got a piece that's kind of flipping up here. So I'm just going to hit that with some glue and get it down. All right, so there it is. I think it looks kind of neat. I really like the way, that just kind of happened when I was stenciling. So now I'm going to put this using my tear tape. And I guess since it's tear tape, I should just put this down and tear it, right? That's what it is, right? So maybe that's why what I can do instead of cutting it, maybe that's faster. Let's see. Pick up my edge. Gotta be careful because my tear tape can still tear in places I don't want it to tear. So I'm lifting up my backing on my tear tape. Right. So I'm going to put this down on this frame. And then I'm going to put this down on this frame. And see how this on the fly card comes out for you. Tearing off my backing from my tear tape. I love Fast Fuse, which is a very good adhesive, but I had some issues, so I kind of went to tear tape. Okay, so there it is. Okay, now I'm going to take my pearls and I'm going to go, instead of these itty bitty tiny ones, I'm going to go a size up, because since I don't have that that extra coloring, I didn't stamp these. I think this really needs I think this needs a little bit bigger pop. And you can tell me by liking this video or giving me some feedback what you think of my card on the fly here, using our stencil background from our last card. Oops, the whole little, that's never happened before, the whole backing. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to add some tiny seeds. Oh, there it is. I'm going to add some tiny ones. I'm going to intersperse some tiny ones too, because I think that will also give it good visual interest. To this card. This is very tedious, I know, but patient with me here. Okay, so there it is. I've added some large pearls and I've added some small pearls. I didn't do the stamping like that. I kind of just left it. I could add some more pearls. It's got a little bit more depth and background because it's just not straight on the card, but rather it's sitting on a kind of a shadow. And it's the same colors, only I kind of switched them around a little. So there you go. Another way to to use the tools, to use some of the products from the card that we made using the thoughtful bundles. This is basically the stencil, and I hope you like it. There's my card on the fly. Cat Chancellor, Stamp Art Connection. Please like this video, leave me some comments, let me know what you think. Happy stamping.